stickers.
Just love the drama.
Biggest U-turn since winter fuel allowance. Cut that. Because loose lips, sink ships.
And what the fans want is to stop teams being owned by madmen.
Listen, you're really making a mess here. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. We're getting really cross with you.
The sticky patch came when the rest of the team's sticky patch came, which was sort of January onwards.
Grumble, boobs joke. Hot ones.
No, let me tell you, I don't have to look at this objectively at all.
The Wednesday week!
Put on your podcast!
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday week after what was been another tumultuous week for Sheffield Wednesday on the pitch and off it, and we've got plenty to get through tonight. Joining me this evening, I've got Stevie, Ash, and Simon. He's going to be joining us in just a second, but I think Ash and I have just pressed the button at exactly the same time to add him to the stage. Oh, it was him. Get off! I'm pressing it. I'm doing it. Ladies and gents, it's been a turgid week. It's been rubbish. It's been poor. It's been absolute trash. I don't know where to start or what to do. So what we're going to do, we're just going to dive straight into it. Let's get this game out of the way, and then we can try and get into some of the news that's happened in Sheffield Wednesday. Simon, this is the starting lineup. Cooper Fusiri back from AFCON, as he has been the last few weeks. Valerie returning back for a proper day out. Otabeo Palmer, Alau gets his first start at home. Thornton, Ingleson, Bannan, J-Lo and Kadamatri. Not much to add. It is what it is. Ike Ogbo apparently suffering with a hamstring injury. He can get in the bin. What were your thoughts prior to this game? What were you thinking going into it?
Firstly, can you hear me? Because I've had all sorts of laptop issues. Yeah, sorry.
We can hear you now.
Absolutely. What were my thoughts first going I think we have this. It's like deja vu being on this podcast because we have the same conversation every time it comes to what do you think to the starting 11? It is what it is. It's down to what we can stick together with some sticking plaster, the odd bit of let's pull another child out of the academy, and who are the AFL going to let us not sign this week, isn't it? And that's what it seems to be. There
was a bit of chat about allowing us to get a couple of loans, wasn't there? But then with the injury to Pierce Charles, I believe that the new goalkeeper in Murphy Cooper that came in took up one of those spaces, which is just seems to be another nail in the coffin for Sheffield Wednesday. And once again, the EFL are punishing us as well and the team for decisions that were made 10 years ago. And it's getting a bit frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As soon as Pierce Charles, who seems to have shoulders made out of biscuits, was injured, and then the lad was at Barnsley, wasn't he, and got recalled back to QPR. Just knew that he was going to become our keeper. It was just written in the stars, wasn't it? But yeah, them two places. It's odd, isn't it? Because they let us have an emergency signing of Ethan Horvath when he got injured the first time, Pierce Charles, and then that's just gone out the window. You know, we'll give you two transfers. Oh, you need a keeper. Well, you got one left, and that's it. Game over. And all for all the EFL have been quite sort of, we're compassionate to your issues and this, that, and other. They've come back with a proper almighty. We don't give a damn now, do we?
Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. You know what I mean? There was a bit of chat about we're really sympathetic. We're being dead nice, and then Nah, bollocks to you, lads, because you've had enough out of me. You know what I mean? It's like asking your dad for a tenner and then asking him for £2 for bus fare, and you go, well, you had enough. You know what I mean? Like, Gio, come on, man, go on, Ash.
Did they say something about they wanted us to be competitive? I want to hear that I heard something like that this is going back a few weeks ago or months ago, that they wanted to. But then, yeah, like I said, unfortunately our first choice goalkeeper gets injured, so we have to bring another loan in or another goalkeeper in, and one of the positions the loan, 2 loans were allowed. We've had to use on a goalkeeper, which I agree. It seems a bit unfair.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Ash, going into this game, prediction wise, I got the graphic ready in advance this time. Simon and Charlie extending her lead at the top, by the way, and Stevie were not going against the grain. Myself, John, thought we'd get a draw, and you and Holly were feeling a little bit optimistic in terms of getting a win. But I felt that there was 3 points potentially there because they are shit.
Yeah, there was. It was one of those. The thing that you look at, that we've been awful at home as well, though, haven't we? But you've got that in the back of your mind because it doesn't matter how bad we were. We won 2-0 away from home against Portsmouth, and they've been dire as well. So it's like you're looking at the game and thinking, "Come on, this is probably one of the times that you've got the knowledge of you've got 3 points in the bag against them already. So you've got to be up on it. Your tails are up. You're going to play in front of the crowd at Hillsborough, what was it, nigh on 18,000 or something like that. And they just didn't turn up, did they? So I was positive. I thought we'd get something, obviously saying 1-0 to the detriment of my prediction league. Me being positive is kicking me in the arse. So I'm just going to go real. Instead of going, I'll think we can win. I'm just going to go, now we're going to lose every game now. So, just for me, and then see if I can do it. But yeah, no, I did honestly think that we could get some out of the game, but obviously as it transpires, that how wrong could I be?
Yeah, always the way. Let's get into the game because I want to try and get it out of the way, if I'm honest, because I'm sick of seeing it. So first chance fell to Devlin. Another mix up at the back, Stevie. You know what I mean? Passing it around at the back. They cut inside, and did he smack it straight at the post, or was it a bit of a tasty save?
It went just wide, didn't it? I think what's happened is you go back and have a look at the highlights. It's Palmer, Allow, Otegbayo, and Palmer's had the ball. He's gone to play it down to Allow. Allow's knocked it back. Palmer's then gone inside. And my interpretation of what happened on that one is he's let it run across his body onto his right foot. I think Palmer's laid it in for him to just get rid, just oof it with your left foot. Yeah. He's decided he's going to try and play out from the back. With due respect to Otegbayo, he's not that kind of player. And he's tried it a few times where he decides that he's going to just take an extra touch, plays himself or finds himself getting into trouble. So then he's cut across from right to left and gone to hoof it. He's scuffed it 10 yards straight to their lad. And then 3 of theirs were swarming around ours. All of a sudden, Allow was 10 yards further up. And I think it was Dezelle has just played it into Devlin. And then Devlin, it looks like he's about to shape to hit it. Otegbayo's sat himself down. He's just decided he's going to dive. So Devlin's gone, I'll take another touch. Made him look like an absolute mug, due respect again. And he's just pulled it maybe a foot, 2 feet wide of the right hand post. It was a mess. It were a mess. With due respect, again, for the third time, Otegbayo.
Honestly, stop with the due respect.
I'm trying to be nice.
No, come on, Stevie.
Just be nice.
Put your cock on the block, Stevie, and just say he's dog shit. Come on.
He's dog shit. He's not, mate. He's not good enough to do what he's trying to do. I think if Palmer just gives him the ball and he just goes and moves it, gets it out to the halfway line, that's us done, and we go and reset. And we can have a conversation about resetting to the point where whether or not you play out from the back or you just do fit. It's horses for course. It's 6 and 2 threes. Nobody's right there. We can argue about playing out of the back and then surrendering possession. But the bigger issue is we ump it forwards, and the centre halves are just going to head it straight back anyway. We lose possession one way or another. We can't
unless it's going to Svanti. No one's big enough on that pitch to get it.
We don't win headers on top, do we?
No, we don't. No, we don't. Next one was Svanti, Simon. It was him racing clear, getting played on by their defender. I think he did all right here. I think giving it a first-time slap was what he should have done. I thought, all right, that's what it is. Just have a dig on goal, lads.
Yeah, but yeah, he should have hit it first time, in my opinion. He just took it one touch too many, I think is the term, which he seems to be our only outlet. And the trouble is it's quite predictable, isn't it? It's a ball over the top and him running onto that ball. You know, he's scored one from it. He's had a couple of chances from it, but if Svante Ingelsson is our only way of scoring goals, then I think I was being optimistic putting one for us in our prediction league, bearing in mind that I am actually emulating Sheffield Wednesday in our prediction league by being well and truly rooted to the bottom. And yeah, look at that. Amazing.
Have you not got a score right? I normally do terrible on these, and I'm second in the league behind Charlie. And I need to out her on the internet here. Charlie does all her picks on a Friday night, pissed up and all, when she's out drinking WKD Blue and Blue Hooch and any other blue favoured drinks. Ash, you know what I mean? Went into half time. I mean, that's literally it from the first half of anything of note to talk about from the first half. That was it.
It was awful, wasn't it? The whole. I'm not just saying Portsmouth or Sheffield. I'm saying the whole 22 on the pitch. There was just nothing from it at all. You say we've talked about that, the low lights, and that's it. And Portsmouth, they contributed to it because they were awful, and that's what makes it even more frustrating, doesn't it? Even more. We know where we are, and we know how we're going to set up and we're going to play at home. And when a team comes and could arguably say play worse than us in that first half, and we don't capitalise. And we've said Svante had one chance. I don't think we had a shot on target, did we, in the first half? Again, which we keep banging that drum. And I know the title of this podcast, and that's what we're going to get into. But one, not a shot on target against a relegation, it's not even a rival. Another one, a relegation neighbour, should we say, is getting a bit piss takey.
Yep.
Sorry, isn't it? So yeah, first half, glad it came and went, mate.
Yeah.
Until you had the second half and realised actually the first half was better than the second half.
Honestly, I mean, you know, Alex Neon Brown there, if you just look at the comments there, has said, I missed the first half, finishing my tax return. From what I saw, the second half, the tax return was fun by comparison.
Yes.
I mean, that's an interesting one. So second half, Stevie, Sejic broke the deadlock. This was shambolic from start to finish. But I feel like what it does is highlight something. Otabeo completely fluffing his lines in terms. I don't know why he's gone to ground there and not just put himself between the ball and the man. But you've got to raise a question over Liam Palmer here as well, because, you know, as I said to you off air, I think because of the training issues we've had over the Christmas period and the lack of pre-season as well, I think this entire shitstorm that we're going through is amplified because of the fitness of the players is so poor. And let me be unkind for half a second as well. I think Cadamartri is 2 yards off the pace. You know what I mean? I feel like Barry Bannan at his age, and having been that age, I know how easy it is to carry a bit of timber. If you look at the photos from the launch of the third kit, you're kind of like, where's the fit wee man that we know? You know what I mean? And you know, you've got to get into your game playing shape. And you know, we spoke a couple of years ago just how good Liam Palmer was in the season we went up, because he'd spent the summer doing a load of marathons. You know what I mean? And in that goal, a fit Liam Palmer would have absolutely rose-headed that bloke.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think it's more, I'd argue, dare I say it, I'd argue that it's as much mental as physical with the likes of Palmer.
I feel like it's a factor. Don't get me wrong. There is a genuine mental block here. You know what I mean? Especially when we go one down. I appreciate that he said, deep dig to go, right, lads, come on, we could probably get something out of this, because the first question to come back when you say that to yourself is why?
Yeah. I found, looking back, the Palmer situation, he was ambling, he was idling on the edge of the area, and it was only when it went through Otagbeo do you realise that he's then gone to accelerate again to get himself back into position. So I'm looking at that goal, and you know me and Liam, I'm not going to sit here and defend him in that sort of scenario, in that situation there. There are other things that conspired to get to the point where he was accountable for the situation. There was nobody on the right wing. There was no pressing from the front. The goalkeepers rolled the ball out to the left centre half or the left-hand side defender, who's then run. And I mean, he's ambled forwards 30 metres with the ball before he's just played it. The only person in shot was Bannan, who was on that side. Bashiri's gone inside because Valerie's over the halfway line for whatever reason. There might be a valid reason why he'd done it, but when you look at it back on the highlights, where's Valerie? He's jogging back. Then you've got Otukbe, as we said. He goes diving in. Palmer's making his way back from the halfway line, and he stops. And it's only when it goes to Otukbe does he go, right, I'm going to go again, because there's a player on the back end. Now, for me, is it Allow? Is it Ingleson? Is it Thornton? Is there a player out of shot that should be talking to Palmer? I'm not defending him. He should have been more alert and switched on. But in that instance there, he's found...
You don't expect Otabeo to let that go through him, do you?
No, you don't. You don't. And it's one of those things where, again, you look at the chance that Devlin had in the first half. He went to ground. He's gone to ground again. It all smacks of being a little bit desperate, but to the point in terms of the elements of fitness, only Bannan knows how fit he is in terms of that match day shape. I'm not one, and I don't think anyone here is going to sit here and go, he should be in better shape. He should look like he's in better nick. Maybe you would, Dan. Jim, know that you are. But you know what I mean? There's a certain cut and there's a certain angle that you'll see on certain photos where you look at it and go, it's not very flattering, that, and I understand.
All right. Let me give you another example. Right, Nathan Redmond has not trained for a while. Nathan Redmond's been injured for a while. That is the shape of an ex-professional footballer or a professional footballer in his early to mid-30s who's stopped with the intense training. Now, Nathan Redmond, I didn't want to dig him out because he's not had the opportunity to train because he's been injured. But that bloke's carrying timber for a football player.
I'd agree with that. I think if you look at him, the shape he was in previously to the shape he's in now, and I think he'd say that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But this goes back to the point we were making about the Lonzo. What can we do? We have to put forward a team of players to get on. He's only got, is it 2 games that he's got left now, Redmond, before he goes?
26th of Jan. 26th of Jan.
So we've got Birmingham tomorrow night and
Saturday,
Wrexham. Bristol City. Yeah, so then he's got tomorrow. He's potentially going to play all these games, and there was a lot of sort of hoopla around him coming in where we were celebrating the fact that we got this guy over the line. He's not started a game. He's not played more than 20 minutes, and that's not necessarily his fault. We've had to get him in to bolster the squad, and we've taken a gamble. The gamble hasn't worked, and I think if he's honest with himself, he would agree with that. And I think if he could go back and you'd look at the scenario there, he would probably have wanted to have played more football, not got himself injured. He'll be frustrated in the way that things have panned out. But that's what we're dealing with at the moment. I can't criticise him for his lack of effort and endeavour because you can't control getting injured and you can't control the amount of football. I don't think he's played a game of football or started a game of football in over a year. So
exactly.
What can I do?
So why we're identifying him as a target? You know what I mean? Get some layer. You know what I mean? The experience.
To that point, if that's what we're identifying as a target, and that's the best player that we've got for that, what else are we looking at?
Isn't it?
I think going back to the goal, we literally just had a corner.
Yeah, it was.
What is annoying is that players didn't bust a gut to get back in position when they took advantage of the fact that we'd got a majority of the team up for the corner, and as soon as they got the ball, defenders didn't return to their places as quick as they should have done. So it's inexcusable that certain players weren't in position because they should have been busting a gut back to get back in position after we'd just literally had a corner, and it were 3 passes back at net. I do think Palmer should have. The Palmer of 2 years ago would have thrown his body in front of that ball, would have thrown themselves a sliding tackle in, just to deflect that ball out, and he didn't. But I think that links more to mentality, as Steve alluded to, than actual fitness. I think that the will to fight, to me, looks like it is ebbing away in that team, which is scary to say. We're not even in February yet.
I agree with you. I think it's with the fans as well. I think
Absolutely
that
right.
we are absolutely desperate as a fan base to have something to cheer about. Like when we beat Portsmouth down at their gaff, our only win this season, right? When we beat them down there, we were having a great time. We were like, yeah, we're shy, we don't care. Come on. The gallows humour's run out now, and that felt winnable on Saturday, especially the fact that he mishit it as well when it went in, and then at the end they absolutely fluffed their lines with what's his face. Colby Bishop right towards the end when he missed from 6 yards out. You know what I mean? It felt winnable, and I feel like a lot of favour curried by the fans was lost on Saturday in that game. But I tell you what, look, let me put a pin in that game, and then let's go to some adverts, and then let's talk about the wider picture, because I feel like that's something that we need to get into.
Hold tight, kids, it's advert time. Hold tight, kids, it's advert time.
So as it stood, we lost 1-0 at home to Portsmouth, a team that were there for the taking, and we had an opportunity to do the double over, and we didn't really pull it off. And we at a whimper as well. And like I was saying just before we went to the advert break there, Simon, we had an opportunity to give ourselves something to chat to cheer about, and I felt like we were robbed of it.
Yeah, too many times now have teams come to Hillsborough who've actually looked like a team that we could get at least a point against, and we haven't done it. Norwich, for example, 1-0 up, drew 1-1. Blackburn 0-0. Hull. I mean, Christ, we were in the league twice against Hull. All these teams that have come to Hillsborough, and we've not finished them off, so to speak. I think back to this, what I said earlier on about this will to win, etc. I think, and including in the fans, is the fact that we had a common enemy, didn't we, before we went into administration, was the man who lived in Thailand. So it was almost like this siege mentality that we had, that we came to get, those of us did come, it was that all for one and one for all, we're in it together sort of thing. And that seems to have gone now, including the fan base. Do you
feel that? Do you feel that's happening? Do you think it's splitting the fans?
I don't think it's splitting the fans. I think that it's getting harder and harder to actually get in that car on a Saturday and come to Hillsborough. It's like I'm talking to fans who are diehard fans. People I work with, myself, my son, and that will, like tomorrow night. I mean, Tuesday night, Wednesday night kickoffs have never been much fun, whenever it was, especially in January. But the amount of people who've said, I really don't want to go tomorrow. And the amount of people who've said, I ain't even going to watch it on TV either.
I feel like that's what we're getting to as a fan base. And you were talking about divide, Ash. What do you mean by that? What do you feel like the two sides are?
I think it's more not with the football. It's probably like with what's happening as well. Like the thing off the pitch, we can't do anything about that, right? And I'm sure a lot of Wednesday fans thought it'd all be over by now, because I ain't got a clue how long administration takes. I'm not one, but that at the start of it all, it was like we've got all these bidders coming in that shown that they've got the 50 million quid. They're going through the process, and then it seemed like, and I know you're stuck on this 5th of December, Dan, that was muted, and then that passed, and we talked about it and everything, and then it got to Christmas Eve, and we got the preferred bidder, and then the news came out of who it was. But then that all has to be processed by the EFL, and I just think that now people, and with all we've talked about the ITK till we're blue in the face. But that process now is in. But I think people would like that process to be quicker done. And then there's fans that are now getting probably on the back of the administrators because of the time taking. But then there's fans that are going, well, it happens when it happens. But
So let me just pull on that point, Ash. Sorry, my apologies. I feel like Rob Stanton last week was goading people, saying, I can't believe that you as Wednesday fans are saying be patient. I can't believe you don't want to know what's going on. I sit very much in the be patient camp, right? Because I don't know how long this takes. And let's be honest, we're under an embargo until this time next year, right? So what fucking difference does it make whether it happens now, it happened in December, or it happens in April? It makes no difference to this season, apart from people are getting fed up because they can't do the thing that they like. And I think that the faction that's happening down the middle is just what Simon was saying about, are we digging deep enough? Because we're now going out of some sense of pride. And I'll be honest, I know a lot of Yorkshire people, having been and grown up there, is that there's a sense of martyrdom to it as well. Like, we're going to sit there and we're going to go, yep, I turned up, my club were utter shite, and we're getting spanked 5-0 every bloody week at home. I still went. And I think there's people still, they're genuinely in my head, people still go in so they can say that at the end of all this. They've earned these new owners coming in and spending 300 million like what they've convinced themselves it's going to do. You know what I mean? Dunfermline aren't pushing Rangers and Celtic right now, are they? Let's not bugger about. We're going to get an owner that is befitting of where we are in the league. That's what's going to happen. We're not going to get multi-billionaires because, if I'm honest, did the multi-billionaires even come in? We just blindly believed it because someone happened to mention it on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Let's not fuck about here. We are in trouble. We are in trouble, and I find it difficult to convince myself to take a day of annual leave to drive up from London to go to Sheffield. It's effort. It's effort for me. And I go to see you pricks, which annoys me to death and all. You know what I mean? Like, but there's also an element of, we are getting antsy now because that date passed and we were all a bit shit. And then, good hell, the date went. Then we had the Christmas delay, and then the EFL go, what are you about? We didn't get any paperwork till the other day. Well, we know because you had 2 weeks off over Christmas. That's what happened. We know that's why the delay is. But when we get to this week and we're playing somebody like Portsmouth where they were beatable, and it's been a couple of weeks past since when, it's literally been 2 weeks now since the EFL released that statement. People are getting edgy. People are getting annoyed. People are getting impatient. I understand why.
I think some of
it don't make a difference.
Some of it's down to the fact that we live in this age now where the transfer window shuts at the end of this month, doesn't it? So I think some of us had this hope that whatever would come in would be sorted out round about now. So we might be able to go out and at least buy a few players or bring a few players in just to salvage a little bit of pride. But I think now we're looking at the barrel of a gun now of 4 months rest of this, 3 months left the rest of this season where we've got what we've got, and it is going to be a loss after loss. And I think that's the issue now, is it's all of a sudden reality has kicked in.
Well, look, Chris Wigfield sat on this show and said, look, we don't want to be here by March because people will be absolutely tearing their eyes out. And they're grafting to get this over the line as much as they want it to be, as much as they need it to be. They're still looking for the best deal for Sheffield Wednesday. Now, the issue that we've got, because like you said, we want something to cheer about, and we think if the transfer goes through, if the sale goes through, we might be able to get a couple of players, and then everything will be all right. Completely forgetting that we're under an embargo till this time next year. But because we've got this opportunity where somehow we can walk to the league and go, sorry, Mr. League man, we don't have any players. Do you mind if we use some of our new money to buy some? Well, aren't you under an embargo? Yeah, but come on. And apparently that's how the EFL works. And that's what we've all got in our head. Let's be honest. We can't sign any players, even if we did get even if it happened tomorrow. What we're going to do about it?
That's
true.
That was bandied around the internet, though, that by relevant people who we're led to believe are not ITK, but the Sheffield journalists, stating that, there may be some work to be done with the EFL to reduce that embargo if the buyer comes in and it's all signed and sealed, delivered in January. So it's not from the fact that we've listened to some ITK. It was bandied around that the EFL would look, once we had funding, at moving that. It's not as if what there is.
I believe that there's an opportunity to appeal. I believe that's what we've got, because we've all of a sudden just realised that the EFL is some bloke that if we keep going, go on, no, come on, no, go on, they'll just relent and let us do it and let us sign a couple of players like what we said we weren't allowed to get back in the summer. Go on, Ash.
Sorry, no, you've gone thing. I just put that comment up, but you were in full rant mode, so we're a bit thing, but. It was Gary put, problem is we want the takeover done, but on the other hand, the preferred bidder doesn't fill the fan base with optimism. So that's a good. Well, this is it. This goes back to the point of Rob saying that why aren't fans demanding who these preferred bidders are? we do know the 3 names or some of the names now, but what can we do about it? There's nothing. What is the point? We said this last week. What's the point in knowing? Now we do know. You're going to have fans saying, we don't want them. They've got no money. So I don't know. That splits because we're talking about it now. There's Gary's put comment on, no doubt everyone else will put comments on about the potential of these owners not having money, having money, or whoever they are. So that's another divide in the fan base. We're getting divisions all over of pockets of.
Yeah, because people are releasing half stories.
Yeah. Si was right. A few months ago, we had one common goal.
Yep.
99.9%. And obviously, there's always going to be a thing of one person at the club being outed. That's done. Brilliant. That's gone in the past. Now we're getting divisions of people going, well, we want this owner. We don't want this preferred bidder. These ain't got no money. Why is it taking this long? Oh, it's okay. I'm all right to wait. And then you've got people going, well, why don't you want to know who they are? Well, I'm all right because I can't do anything. So I'd rather just, do you know what I mean? And we're getting that bit where we are getting fractious, I think. And then that
let me tell you where that's coming from, Ash. And the reason is because James Board and his company were related to Sheffield United in a sports statistics-based way of managing, right? And they got Ruben Sayers at the start of the season based on stats and AI, and it fell to shit. That's one check against him. When you Google James Board and you know what he's famous for and why people know him, it's online gambling, which makes him it's poker playing, which makes him come across as a bit of a clown. And people go, "Oh, I don't like him either." They've got nothing. They don't know anything about his business acumen or what he's like. But we've gone. There's a snapshot of what he's like. He's been involved in that. Oh, I don't like him. I'd have preferred that multi-billionaire that bloke who lives in Mexborough came up with. You know what I mean? And that's where we are. I just want to come across a few comments that we've had. You know, I can. Matt Davies said I can see a few leaving this window. If so, then what? We'll get into that, Stevie. I feel like we can pull at that. Off topic, is that a Westlife t-shirt, Dan? No, this is NSYNC. You know. Terrible boy band knowledge there from Rob Shirley. And Ian Bennett from the Trust is watching this evening. He said the new owners have to be right. 3 layers of checks. So if it's a good bid, it'll pass. And if it's bad, it'll get pulled. I don't begrudge anyone running on their own check, but I don't have a go at anyone. I agree. We can't just decide that, you know, because he was related, you know, he had a business link with Sheffield United and he likes a gamble, that he's a wronger and he's terrible. Okay,
flipping Rob Statton's thing on it, right? Would it not be better to wait and not know and have all the proper checks done on who could be the owner in the background? You know, so the EFL do their checks, whoever wants to do their checks, the independent football regulator, all in the background. Don't need to. In that better than having the name splashed everywhere and then either them failing or, do you know what I mean? To go behind the scenes and do it without it, and we know that all these checks have took months and months, and everyone's happy. Better than not doing that, is it? For me, I'm sure.
But Rob Stafford had a story. He needed to release it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's his job, though, isn't it? That's his job. Roy Keane.
It is.
Roy Keane it. That's his job.
That is his job. Now, Stevie, it's time. Hot topic. The big story in Sheffield Wednesday land as it stands right now, that's not how terrible we're doing, is that Captain Bannan has been touted around various clubs across the championship. Yesterday it was Preston. Today it's looking like Millwall. A fee of £400,000 has been mooted. Stevie and I had a disagreement about it today, and I'd love your feedback on it in the comments as well, ladies and gents, and obviously yourself, Simon and Ash. But Stevie and I sit on different sides of the fence with this, and I wanted to see where we sat. I'll go first and then give you the floor, so I don't cut into you, Stevie. But I felt that given the years of service that Barry's given us, given the shit we've put him through. You know what I mean? We've absolutely pulled the rung underneath him. We had him managing the club at one point in the summer. We've had him taking pay cuts. We've had him surrounded by great players, and then over time, just watch these players just get pulled out and pulled out and pulled out around him. Me personally, let's take the money. Let's take the money and this is the most important thing to me. Baz has done his bit for Sheffield Wednesday. I love him. And bear in mind, he's up there with a lot of fans, up there with your Hurst and your Waddles and your Nilsons and your Sheridans. I think he's up there with the absolute living modern legend. And I think that what we've done, we said to him, the takeover will get done probably by about Christmas, and you could be able to renegotiate your contract back up to where it should be. And because January is starting to ebb away, and this is the only opportunity he's got to leave, I think that's why these rumours have come about. I would happily go, do you know what, Baz? Thanks for the memories, man. I appreciate you. And go get your money, because you're 36. I don't know how many years you've got left. Go get it, bro. And I'll wish him all the best. Him staying with us this season would be absolutely irrelevant. It would be irrelevant to Sheffield Wednesday and what's going to happen to them in the next 6 months. So crack on, Baz, man. I thanks a lot. See you later. But Stevie, you think we should keep Holt?
Yes. And I'm going to preface my response to that by saying I agree with everything that you've said around him coming, being surrounded with players that were at a certain level, and then there's a law of diminishing returns in terms of the players that he's playing with that I'll come back to in a moment. I am very much of the opinion that we need to be careful what we ask for when it comes to, do we let Bannan go or not, because of everything that we've just seen. And there was a snapshot on Saturday. If you go back and look at the highlights, Ingleson's shot, I'm not being funny. It's a straight ball, but it's a straight ball that only one person on that pitch can play, and it's Barry Bannan. And I know that he gets maligned by people, whether it be online now, whether it be in our LMS chat, whether it be in our podcast chat, whether it be us on here, whether it be me and Ash disagreeing because I'm one side and he's the other, and so on and so forth. I think Barry Bannan is, at 36 years old, if you look at his numbers, is still one of the best midfielders in the league. There was part of it that was around he needs to leave to try and get himself into the Scotland squad. I don't see that happening, unfortunately.
He's better than McTominay, Gilmore, McGinn.
I'm not suggesting that for a second, but is it McLean that scored the halfway line goal, and he's playing at Norwich?
We said it to him when we spoke to him. He's been unlucky given the position he plays, because there was a point about 8-9 years ago where Scotland's two best players were left backs, and then now their best players are all in Baz's position. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I appreciate a last push. I like it. You know what I mean? We had one with Liam Palmer a couple of years ago to try and get him in the Scotland squad, but I don't know where that's come from. No, but I must admit, but McGinn has done his knee. Someone's Emily Marsden's has beaten me. But yeah,
I just don't. I think when he goes, and as I sit here tonight, I'm erring on the side of him going. And going before the end of the transfer window. I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope I'm wrong. If and when he goes, we're going to look down the line and we're going to go, right, who's our midfield? Ingleson, Thornton, Heskey. We do respect to all three of those players. They can't do what Barry Bannan can do. And we'll go to the end of the season. And yet it's irrelevant. The performances are important in terms of morale and the after effect that it will have when we get to the end of the season. But if we're going into League One with a team full of kids, we've then got to go and source somebody that is better than Barry Bannan, that knows the club better than Barry Bannan, that is the fabric of the club. And we need somebody like that to get in and around those players and support the transition into. I mean, it's going to be a transitional sort of period. We need Bannan in and around it to grab hold of Thornton and say, this is what you need to do. Because I think Thornton has the ability to do some decent things next season. But I'd rather, it's better the devil you know. And when the devil is of that ability, what are we talking about? I
agree. Right. I agree that man, it would be great to have in and around the club when we're doing our rebuild next summer. But that's not his job, man. It's not his job. He's 36. He just wants to turn up and play football. We shouldn't have him running the damn club anymore. You know who should be galvanised the players? The fucking manager. And don't get me started on that bald-headed clown and all. I tell you what, we should...
I agree with you. I agree. I'm not saying keep him because I want him to go, right, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. But you've got somebody that these kids can learn from. You've got somebody that is going to, lead by example on the pitch as well as off the pitch. I'm not asking him to do a manager's job. I'm asking him to do a captain's job. And I think he's the best person. And I know this guy over here is going to look at me and roll his eyes because me and Ash will disagree as to whether or not he's a captain in terms of that armband wearer and so forth. But what I'm saying is, from an ability point of view, from somebody who can be that best player on the pitch, who can pick a pass, who can, pull something down, he's still running. And he did it again on Saturday, even though he was playing. It did feel like he was a little bit half-hearted, but he was still chasing down goalkeepers in the 88th minute. He was still doing all of that. We're not going to get that. We're not going to be able to replace Barry Bannan as easily as people think that we can. And I think it's a shame that people think, oh, yeah, we're all right, he can go, and that's it. I know people are saying in the comments, they've talked about his legacy and the fact that he's going to solidify legendary status. I agree with that. There's nothing that man can do, and I won't hold it against him. I just don't want him to go, because I think he is as good a player as we've had, technically, as good a player as we've had since the Premier League era.
So there you are, Simon. There you are, Ash. I'll come to you in just a second. Let me do some comments first, because I think let him go. Go and get your money, Baz. You've done your bit for Sheffield Wednesday. Stevie wants to chain him to the radiator. But I tell you what, let me go through a couple of comments, because I feel like we're kind of split on this. But I think we're kind of saying the same thing as well. So Matt Davies said that I think Baz has the right to make your own decision on this, and I don't think we can be angry at him. I don't think we can. I don't think anybody would begrudge him. He's been amazing for us, and he's been our leader and captain. If he wants to walk, let him walk. Jimmy has gone with the rather constructive. Out of all the Wednesday podcasts, this is the most depressing.
We
aim to please.
I probably agree, Dan.
You should see the group chat.
Jimmy,
it looks
next
like
LMS. Get on LMS next time we do one.
It looks like the opening shot of Anton Deck podcast. Craig Haywood has said this guy's 36, has given us 10 very, very good years service, but we need to move on. Peter Holmes has said, I couldn't disagree more, Fudge. And I hope Stevie has echoed your comments. Timothy Weimart says, I don't know if he stays or goes, but wouldn't begrudge him. However, I wouldn't begrudge him that. However, if he was going, surely he would have gone in the summer with all that shite going on. I felt like he had a moral obligation in the summer, and I don't think there's been any. I think there's been some broken promises for the club going forward. Daniel has gone with, I'd let him go. Deserves to play at the top end of the Championship and have one more crack at the promotion to Prem. We've had Roger Smith, who said, if we sell Baz, we don't get the money. I don't think it's about money, and I think it's more about squad spaces and wage structure as well for the gaffer as well. But Baz can only leave if he takes Ugbo with him, and only then can Baz come back. I'd be gutted, but wouldn't begrudge him a move one bit. Legendary status is secured no matter what. I agree. We need to move on from him anyway. Complete rebuild required in the summer, and Steve is the one saying that Baz should be around for that. Rob Oldfield's been on. I didn't know Rob listened, but he said we can't keep holding on. If Baz wants to go and earn his money, let him. I'm kind of in that camp myself. And Rob Shirley's gone. Stevie and Dan disagree, and you're normally in sync. So that's fun for everybody.
Bye. I've got a little bit. Of course, I have Stevie. I've got a little bit of comeback to Stevie's thing. As he were on about obviously Bannan staying around and coaching or giving advice to the youngsters, but who has he done that to in the last 10 years at the club? So what makes you think he's going to do that in the last 6 months?
Are you in the let him go camp then, Ash?
Right. My whole thing with it was that if it was rumoured to be 400k that we were getting offered for, no one in the right mind is going to turn down 400k for a 36-year-old. But obviously, apparently, we've got the money behind already, 2.5 million, so we don't need the 400k. So there's, and if he's on the 7k a week, I think what he signed, that we could only offer in the summer, then that's a reasonable amount to be paying him. But I would assume that the takeover has been done earlier, then you get a new contract, be bumped up to a reasonable amount for him, what he'd be acceptable. So I think that is one of the things, is that he probably thought by now he'd be on a higher wage. So the only thing is that we can't afford to lose anybody, as in a number. Now, I'm not talking about any like the player or anything, any player this is. We can't afford, and we've mentioned that there's a lot being linked. So if it's Bannan or if it's Valerie or Lowe or Kadamar, whoever it is, I don't think we can afford to lose a number. Now, that is for the same for anyone. That's bad. Like I said, any player. That I'm not just singling out Baz for that. But if you were to look at, I don't feel he has offered anything this season. He scored a cracking couple of goals, but if you're a stats wanker and you look at it, you go 2 goals and 2 assists all season, I think it is not a great return for our supposedly most creative player.
I don't think Pedersen's played him correctly, but I think I still stand by that there's a fitness issue this season, given how threadbare our squad is and how fucked up our training facilities.
And that goes for a lot of players, though, doesn't it? Is not just bad. That is, but mine is that I would have let him go, and I wouldn't have begrudged him. Of course, like everyone else has said, is he deserves to have a final. If it's a crack at the Premier League, or if it's a big money move, or if it's a hometown move, do you know what I mean? He deserves that. But I just don't think, and I'd happily let him go. But I just don't think number-wise we can afford to let anybody go. And that's not Baz.
He's our top scorer this season.
Is it what, sorry?
He's our top scorer this season.
Fucking hell. I'm also the tallest in my house compared to, the Pans. I tell you what,
he is the most creative then. He is the most creative.
Give me 30 seconds.
The Wednesday week will be back soon. Oh, yeah.
Finish that thought, Ash.
It wasn't me, it was Stevie. He said he's our most creative.
And then you went, and then I pressed the button. My apologies. I tell you what then. Simon, if you could bring this up to a draw and then let the others decide, what sort of camp are you in? And you're not allowed to sit on the fence.
I'm not sitting on the fence at all.
Go on. Here we go, kids. Here we go, kids.
If he's got the opportunity to move on, then let him go. There's been a point, we've been talking about the Barry Bannan conundrum since we're in League One. In regards to who's going to replace him, where he's going to go. I think this is now going to force the management and the club to look at what is available out there and what we've got in our squad. And if it means us changing the way we play, then we have to change the way they play and not have to, rely on a creative midfielder who, to be honest, despite being highest scorer and probably most assists this season, has been ineffective. And dare I say it, has created some of the problems in midfield because of where he plays either too deep or in the back four. I think he's a Rolls Royce running amongst a number of Skodas and Ford Fiestas in regards to the analogy, is the fact that the players around him aren't good enough. So he's the sort of player who can pull off a worldy ball, but it's going to no one because nobody can read that type of football because they're not there yet. And I think he needs to move on. I think we'll change the way we play. I think that's probably why Heskey's been brought in, because it's muted that he's on his way. And it's just an enforced change. I wish him the best of luck, but I've been here before when Chris Waddle left, when John Sheridan left, when David Hurst left, when Carlton Palmer left, all these amazing players, when George Byers left. Oh my God, shed a tear for that man.
Ash is still not over it.
I'm still not over it. There's a point where we have to move on. I actually agree with Ash in regards to what has he done over the last 10 years. I think the better person to influence the young kids in our team is Liam Palmer. I think he is in his academy that he's already got running over at Worksop. He is a lad who's going to bring our youth through, and I would keep him in our coaching squad. Bannan, I don't think he's that kind of player. I think he's a great footballer and was a great footballer, but this season we're just going to ruin the lad if he stays. So to be honest, I'd say go. And
I think you're right. I think he'll go into the media rather than coaching as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so, up in Scotland more likely than not. But I do really think that him going will make the club have to look at what is available in our depleted squad and play a different way. And I think we're going to have to do that, because I think we can't keep having performances like we did on Saturday from Bannan, because he will gradually just lose heart, and then we will be playing with 10 men, whether he's on the pitch or not.
Fair enough. I think that was quite a measured one. I don't think everybody's as measured as we've been tonight, ladies and gents, in the comments. Fudge you a knobhead, get out of my house. What you talking about? You know what I mean? but I tell you, I've had some good ones.
Just the girlfriend. Is that just the girlfriend?
Never mind. Emily Marsden said Danny Roy used to take him off sometimes to limit his minutes. Now he's playing match after match. He doesn't seem fully fit. That can't be good at his age. Oh, Christ, I remember being that age, and I used to smoke loads of fags and all. I tell you what, it were terrible. Rob Oldfields actually said Palmer could follow in the footsteps of Steve Aslan moving into the academy. I agree. I think that's a great shout. Paul Suter said, I think a restructure is needed. If Bazza stays, then we are implementing past football tactics that are clearly not working for us. Please don't get me wrong. I love Bazza. I'd love for him to stay until he can't kick another ball. But sometimes you need to shake the apple cart. I feel like a lot of fans are kind of deep down thinking that. But I feel like that's a good topic. And that has been tonight's Hot Topic. So right then, last few little bits of business that we've got coming on. I tell you what, we're going to get joined by a guest this evening, but he's not there. Stephen, do you mind chasing him up, find out where he is?
I've literally just sent him a text and said, "Are you here, mate?" And I'm looking in the background, he's not there. So, Phil.
No worries. I'll play me out, Johnny. Cling, 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 cling. And then, right then. So we had a couple of signings this week as well. Signing Claxon. We've got Murphy Cooper in on loan. Ash, is that till the end of the season? It is, isn't it?
It is, yes. It is. It's not an emergency loan like, what was his name?
Right.
Lumley, was it? Lumley?
Right.
That could only, he had to play the 2 or 3 games, but no, this is an actual loan to the end of the season, hence taking one of these 2 loan berths that we were given. Honestly, I didn't know anything about him. He's one of those goalkeepers that's been obviously QPR, but he's been out on loan at Barnsley. Obviously, don't watch Barnsley. Holly and Mr. Holly would probably know better about him than us. But it is, isn't it? You're just going to get a goalkeeper who's available coming in. So I thought he equipped himself okay actually on Saturday. I thought he had some good distribution. I thought his kicking was okay. There was the hairy bit at the back, but nothing that we haven't seen all season before. And yeah, he made a good smart save early, and then. In the first half, he came out to the feet of the striker as well, which I thought was pretty quick on his mark. Got down, and first glimpse, not too shabby. Shit beard, but not too shabby.
He's passing the infamous Ash Rogers eye test, and
you're the goalkeeper expert. You're the goalkeeper expert on this podcast, Daniel.
I mean, what is he? Is he like? So you've got him, Lumley, Horvath. LP2 played in goal against Charlton, didn't he? Charles. Stretch. Is that 6 goalkeepers this season? I'm not going to profess to know anything about the Manchester City under-17s, but as regulars of this show will know how much abuse I give Simon about being of a certain age and a certain vintage. The fact that we're stood here talking about Emil Heskey's kid being unloved to play for Sheffield Wednesday, the less said about that, the better. Now, also, ladies and gents, there's also been a lot of talk about Ike Ugbo, and I think I don't know what to say about that. But I tell you what, let's get our guest on this evening. There's also been something happening at Hillsborough this weekend, and joining us this evening is Simon from Speakeasy Club. He's joined us tonight to talk about an initiative that he's got going on. Now, Simon, welcome to the show. You all right?
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Dan. I've been listening for the last 15 minutes, and I wrote a note down. You mentioned about bald-headed clowns.
Yeah. I didn't mean you, mate. I didn't mean you. I didn't mean Stevie.
Well, I had a counter to that, and then I basically didn't press enter the studio, so I am essentially a bald-headed clown because I couldn't do it properly. So I can't apologise enough, gents.
Fair enough. Now, Simon, where do you stand with Ike Ugbo? I mean, he's costing us a fortune. No one wants him. No one's queuing up to have him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just going to be an absolute waste of wages for the next couple of years, isn't he? I mean, I think Pedersen said a loan isn't on the table. If somebody wants him, they're going to have to come and pay for him. Who's paying for him?
Yeah, listen, I've taken a lot off my father over the years, and not even he paid a pound for him. I think, look, we just got to cut our losses. I think further to the conversation we've had in the last 10 minutes, my colours are clearly nailed to the mast about a certain someone. Sorry, Ash, but look, you know, he's clearly a capable footballer that just hasn't worked for us. It started off really well. Let's just cut our losses. We've got an awful lot going on at the minute. And we can't afford to carry people as we've had done. So, yeah, just move on.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll get into that afterwards. But I tell you what, in the meantime, Mr. Speakeasy, you've got something happening this weekend. Do you want to tell us all about it?
Not this
Yeah,
week.
amazing.
31st.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, huge thank you to you all here tonight on the pod, and to those that are normally hosting as well. The support for us has been amazing. Essentially, look, we're huge Wednesday. I keep saying it's me. I'm a huge Wednesday fan, and everything we do is around connection, being part of something. And this podcast has really made me feel part of a wider community, which I think is something that we've potentially lost at numerous parts of the last few years. And all we're trying to do, and many will have seen a big pink bench outside the club shop, and there are now club colours on the seats as well as of last Wednesday, which, if I do say so myself, are very cool. And what we're trying to do is essentially appeal to people who have struggled with anxiety or loneliness or social isolation, which is not that easy to say. And all we want to do is encourage people to come to a place to enjoy football again, but to meet a group of people that they know are like-minded. And I think that's really important. We know how important football and going to match day is to us, but that doesn't mean the same to everybody. Stevie, you and I know someone in particular who's a great guy who kind of started in this space and really struggled to even leave the house, and then was able to go to a game one day on his own, and then fundamentally bought a season ticket, and then went to gigs, and is the kit man of a really prominent team in the Sheffield area, and is a brilliant bloke. Like, so all we're trying to do is to say on the 31st of January, the Wrexham game, sign up. We are going to sponsor some tickets and scarves so you can wear your club colours, working with the community programme. So Sean Graves particularly, but everybody there has been amazing. Come down. If you want to have a go, if you want to go to a game, but you've got no one to go with, or you just feel like you can't do it, come meet us at the bench. We'll have a giggle, we'll have a coffee, we'll have a burger, have a beer, whatever it is. It's like-minded people, and we'll have a good bloody laugh at the same time, because we can get into the state of the football club, the state of the football on the pitch. We can get into all that. But fundamentally, meeting your mates on a Saturday afternoon and watching a game means more to people than so much we could ever talk about. So that's all we're trying to do, really. And we've got 6 people signed up already, which is amazing. And I've spoken to 2 of them, and some fascinating stories. And I'm really hopeful that we can get a few more by the 31st.
So what do we need to do then? Do we need to get on your socials and sign up for a raffle of some description? I notice you're sporting the shirt in the background there. It's an away shirt from the other year, signed by the captain himself. You know, could be an absolute collector's item in the realms of Sheffield Wednesday, the way this week's panning out. How do we get involved, Sam?
Absolutely. So I'll share the link to sign up for the One Bench, One Match program. But also, it looks like a match worn. It's not actually a match worn, but it is a Mr. Meadows special. So massive thank you to Tom Burton for sorting this out at the same time. Barry has very kindly signed it and just said, look, whatever you want to use it for, use it. Really happy to support. So at 12 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be going live with the raffle. £2 a ticket. All proceeds are going towards the Wednesday community programme and the End Loneliness campaign, which is based at Sheffield Hallam, which is fantastic as well. And they've been amazing. Andrea Wigfield there, who's also a big Wednesdayite. They've been huge supporters. So 12 o'clock tomorrow, get in our socials. We'll push this £2 a raffle ticket. And then next Friday, the day before the Wrexham game, we'll announce the winner. And we just want to share it. We just want people to enjoy the game. Remember what it's like to go and spend time with people that you really enjoy, watching something that we can all have a giggle about the quality of at the moment. But fundamentally, that couple of hours, we all make a huge effort to do, because it's bigger than anything we can articulate.
Is it up on the socials as we speak right now?
No, because that would mean I was prepared, Dan. Oh. No, brilliant question and a really valid one.
Jesus, one job, man. One job.
I know, man.
I was literally about to go, Ash, if you don't mind posting that right now, and I was going to give it a big fanfare.
Only I've been planning this since 9 o'clock this morning, which gave me loads of time to do it. But no, I'm afraid not. So at Speakeasy Club 1, if you could, I'm gonna be really cheeky and just ask if, from the Wednesday week point of view, if you can share it and do things as well.
Yeah,
12 o'clock tomorrow, we'll get that live, and then a week Friday we'll announce the winner, and we'll hopefully, if you're going to the Wrexham game on the Saturday, come and meet us at the bench, and we'll personally hand deliver it to you as well.
I'll tell you what,
I'll just say something, and these three have got no choice in the matter. We'll donate some tickets as well, mate. So if you're wanting more ticket, anyone listening, watching, if you want to get down, come and see us. We'll be there as well. So that's the booby prize. You might get to see some of us. We'll get in touch with Simon. Simon will get in touch with you and sort that out. We'll get some tickets as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Ash.
Have you ever met me and Dr. Simon in the Hill? Nobody needs that, does he, Si? Like, well,
I actually stood next to him at Norwich midweek, Norwich away a couple of years ago, didn't I, Simon? In December, you travelled up from bloody Cardiff, and I travelled down from Sheffield, and we were actually stood next to each other. And I went, "Are you Simon?" And you went, "Are you Simon?" It was that Spider-Man meme. Not too many Simons follow Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm absolutely convinced that 60% of our fan base is called Simon.
Spelled with an I, obviously.
Yeah. Of course.
Absolutely.
Now as well, actually, just on the final word on that as well, I'm a big advocate of what Simon does in terms of mental health, and Christ, it's been tough this season as well. And you will also know, if you know this show, that me getting through you speaking without making a joke about you making people Sheffield Wednesday fans, and also being an advocate of mental health, and I left that joke well alone. You know how much I appreciate what you do.
And listen, I think there's a whole podcast on that alone, Dan, to be honest, about how impressive that was. So
thanks, man. Thanks,
everybody. Well done, mate.
I'll see you on the bench.
I was nailing on that he'd have gone for the accent. I was nailed on that he was going to make a comment.
I tell you what, actually, sidebar, Simon, I know you're in South Wales. I'll give you all a peek behind the curtain here, ladies and gents. So my brother lives in Merthyr, just outside Newport and Cardiff and that way on in South Wales. And I texted him on Sunday. The missus was ill, so I thought, sod this, she's going to do me head in. So I fucked off to my brother's for the day. And I went, I said, where are you? He said, oh, your nephews are playing rugby. I went, oh, I'll swing by. Oh, I taught a load of 11-year-olds some new words that day when the referee's decisions. Apparently at rugby they don't apparently at kids rugby they don't talk to the players and referee like they do at football. So Uncle Dan is notorious around Lanarkshire, just outside Cardiff right now. So that's nice,
is it? Right, yeah. I see.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's middle class. It's middle class. They're still playing rugby. Right then, what else have? No, you're not having me NSYNC t-shirt. It was a birthday gift that took 2 months to get here. You can't have it. You can't have it. What other comments do we have, Ash? Let's get into them before we wrap this up. Do we have any other business?
Matt Talbot, he says he'd love to do this. My mental health has been bad of late, so this would be brilliant. Matt, get yourself down, mate, if you can. It'll be brilliant to come and see you. I know you've commented quite a lot in the last few weeks. It'll be good to see you. It'd be fantastic. Thank you. He's just said, can I sign up for the one bench, one game? Of course you can, mate. Okay. Well, when Simon sorts his shit out, we'll get it tweeted out and everything.
You can sign up now, Matt. We'd love to do it. I'll sort the raffle out in the morning.
Thanks. Well then, look at that for timing, Dan.
I was going to say, I'm all right with that. Listen, ladies and gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget to get involved on Facebook on the WAW group. Matt David, regular commenter, does tell me off every time I don't mention it. So make sure you get involved in that if you are a Facebook user. In the interim, if you look at the big dirty QR code on the screen as well, that involves you in all of our socials. If you want to listen or watch this podcast, it's all there available for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps with the algorithm. Any like, any share, any post, get involved. And I do need to talk, Ash, about your favourite night of the week in Thursday evenings. Now, again, another peek behind the curtain.
Don't tell everyone.
We were all aware of what time Dr. Hill's phone goes on Do Not Disturb in the evening, because I think normally about 10:30, I go, oh shit, we've got the Fantasy 11 post to put out in the on the Friday. So at 10:30, I'll go, right, 80 songs 11. What you saying? And it goes mental for the next hour and a half. I can imagine Simon waking up going, brrrr.
Yeah, pretty much. At 5:30 when I get up in the morning for work, I go onto WhatsApp and there's 96 messages I have to trawl through with shit Wednesday 1980s songs. And of a man of my age going, no, that was 1970s. No, that was 1990s. God, I wish I'd been awake because you're all stupid.
The best bit is it goes again the morning after because John wakes up and goes, I want to play.
Mate, when you tip over that 50, you have to be in bed before 11 o'clock.
I thought you, like your age, all woke up at 5:30. Oh, wait, you do. Yeah.
I do. Right. I only wake up at 5:30 because I have to go to bloody work.
I get to bed about 11:30 and get up at 5. So I'm like that. But yeah, it is the best time of the week for me. It's I sit on the edge of my bed before I get in bed, and I look at my phone and go, right, here we go. And I look and I chuckle at all the messages coming through and going, shit, that's good. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Right. I need to up my game. And I sit there for half an hour and Mrs. Rogers is going, what are you laughing at? What are you doing? What are you on your phone? What are you doing at this time? I'm going,
wake me up before your man will a go. You don't know, man. You weren't there. Oh, God bless his soul. Right then. So listen, I'm going to put a pin in that. It's been an absolute pleasure, ladies and gents. Thanks a lot for joining me. Thanks a lot to Stevie Simon and Speakeasy Simon and the Ashmaster himself. It's been an absolute pleasure. Get involved on our socials. Keep an eye out on them tomorrow for the Speakeasy one bench one. Have I said that wrong, Simon? One match, one bench. Is that what it's called? Thank you very much. See you later.
Every week, live from 8 p.m. It's the Wednesday week. Bringing you football analysis.
They said we'll win the league next season.
Bringing you modern references.
I did a little 1920s fist pump there. Not done that in a while.
If we could do just a 1-to-1, not me because it'd last 7 days apparently, like Craig David.
I should not have said that. I should not have said that.
This shows like you're mental. No, I'm not.
Clip that.
Bringing you terrible impressions.
Wibble, wobble, wobbly, wobbly, wibble, wobble, Cyber Jordan. When, hey, you got to play a 4-4-2. She. I don't know where these jokes are coming from.
Available on all social medias.
Obviously, this goes out on YouTube and as well as all the other social media out there, podcasts, etc.
The award-winning Wednesday week. Join us.